All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start in child's pose today. I don't know if you were on last week at all, Leah, but I was able to take some additional coursework about yoga sequencing. So it's more, probably you won't notice it much different, but in my head I think about it a little bit differently. So one of the things that we've been focusing on over the past week or so has just been kind of weaving a little bit more of a theme into a few weeks of our practice, or our practices, or the classes that I teach here. So our focus that we started on last week was on kind of heart opening and then hip and pelvic strengthening. So that's kind of will be our focus again today. You'll still get like a full body practice, but just be a little bit more mindful of those areas, and I'll talk about that a little bit more as well. So we'll go ahead and start in child's pose. If it's available to you, go ahead and reach your arms up and sweep them up next to your ears. Let your forehead kind of melt down towards the mat, or you could also stack your hands and place your forehead there. And then take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, I want you to think about melting the center of your chest, that heart center, down towards the mat. And then we'll do that one more time. So inhale nice and long through the nose. And as you exhale through the mouth, just let your chest bone come closer down. So right where your sternum is, kind of thinking about it melting down towards the earth. And then maybe take the knees a little bit wider and just start to shift the breath into the low belly. So inhaling and exhaling at a pace that feels comfortable and available to you today. Maybe just trying to match the length of your inhale with the length of your exhale. And each time you release the breath today, I just want you to imagine your heart opening a little bit further. And that can mean a number of different things. So that could be the physical opening across the chest and the shoulders, kind of broadening across the collarbones, pulling the shoulders back to open up the chest in front of the shoulders. That tends to get a little bit shortened as we sit and do lots of things out in front of us throughout our day. It could also mean just opening your heart to maybe a new perspective. Maybe that means creating a little bit of extra kindness during your day for people you don't know, or maybe for people you do know. So whatever it means to you, you can create your intention for your practice around that today. So kind of that physical or mental or emotional image of opening your heart, sharing that compassion and love and kindness with others, but also with yourself. And just continuing to breathe deeply in the lowest part of your belly. Let's take the inhale and exhale to a count of 4. Inhaling a sense of calm. Exhaling worry. Inhaling love. Exhaling hate. Inhaling kindness. Exhaling anger or intolerance. And then maybe come up with a few other feelings, emotions, or things that are resonating with you lately for the next couple of breaths. Think about really ridding the body of whatever it is that's not serving you well. Really opening your heart to be open to this practice for some time for self-care, for moving your body, for creating a place of peace and calm in your day. And just like everything when we practice, do what feels right for you. Everything is a suggestion, so if something does not work out for you today or doesn't feel good for your body, just feel free to modify. We'll take one more cleansing breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And then when you feel ready, we'll start to make our way up into tabletop. So hands and knees, the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. We'll start to cycle through cat and cow, flowing with the pace of your breath. So inhale, heart forward, cow pose, tailbone is up. Exhale, tuck and round, pressing into cat, C shaping your spine. Just moving with your breath. So one breath per movement here as we cycle through cat and cow. And this is open to your interpretation. So if it feels good to shift your hips or to stay a little bit longer in either pose, please feel free to do that. We'll take a couple more cycles here at your own pace, inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. Let's move into a side body stretch. So walking your hands up to the left corner, take a nice deep breath in. When you're ready, sink back towards your right heel. Maybe walking your right hand up a little bit higher. That feels good for you. Just opening and breathing into the right side. Imagining that breath coming to the back, lower part of your rib cage. One more nice inhalation. Big deep exhale. Inhale, making your way back up to tabletop. Sweep your hands over to the right corner. And then exhale, sink back towards your left heel. Big side stretch on the left this time. Just let your head and neck relax here. Couple of nice deep breaths. Feeling that expansion of the lower rib cage. On your next inhale, coming back up to tabletop. Moving your hands slightly more forward or ahead of your shoulders. And then inhale, come back to cow pose. Exhale, come to cat. And then the next time you come into cow, if you'd like to drop the front of the hips down and come to any variation of cobra pose, you can do that. Just letting the front of the pelvis sink down, looking forward or slightly up. And then pull the belly button in, press into cow, or press into cat, and then perhaps child's pose all the way back. Inhale, cow or cobra. Micro bend in those elbows if you're coming into cobra, lifting your heart up. So imagine pressing into your hands. And then on an exhale, press through cat, pausing here or coming back, extended child's pose. We'll take two more times there. Inhale, cow or cobra. Lift the heart center. Exhale, press through cat, extended child's pose. One more time, inhale, tailbone up, cow or cobra, look forward, lengthen the front body, lift the chest. Exhale, press into cat, release, extended child's pose. Take a cleansing breath here, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and make your way back up to tabletop. Find a neutral spine here. So hands will be just underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to move into cross-body balance here. So go ahead and send your left toes back. So keeping the toes down on the mat, but straightening that back knee. You should start to feel some activation in the left glute. You're going to draw the navel into the spine and then float your right palm. So you should feel some good activation in your entire trunk. If it's available to you, float that left heel, but keep the foot flexed. So tuning into the activation that's happening around your midsection as well as the back of the hip. You're probably going to feel some activation in that right hip as well. Holding and breathing for two more breaths. Good, then as you exhale, set your right hand down. Come over to your right hand and knee, keeping that left foot lifted if it's available to you. Modified half moon. So whole front body is open to the left wall. Go ahead and just gently press that left heel back. So spine is in neutral here, still feeling that activation into the left glute. Good, release that left hand back to the mat. Keep your left leg lifted. Float your right arm, cross body balance, back to where you started, belly is in. And then exhale, release to tabletop. Inhale, send your right toes back. Toes are down on the mat, float your left palm. Draw the belly in. Think about keeping your trunk parallel to the mat. And just bring some awareness around the core and the pelvis here. If it's available to you, float the right heel, keeping the foot flexed. Pulling the belly in so that spine is neutral. Be mindful to not dump into the low back. Good, lots of activation in the hips and the core. Gracefully release your left hand down, come over to your left hand and knee. Float your right arm up. Modified half moon. Foot is flexed, top leg is lifted. If that's not available to you, then just set it down on the mat. Gently pressing your right heel back. Think about reaching those right fingertips up nice and high. One more breath in. Good. Release the right hand down. Float your left arm up, cross body balance where you started. And also set those right toes on the mat. One more breath in. And then release, come back to tabletop. Inhale, cow or cobra. Exhale to cat pose. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale to cat. And then find a neutral spine. Walk your hands more forward. And then press back when you're ready, downward facing dog. Hips are high. Again, thinking about that breastbone, your sternum here, the center of your chest, the heart center. Thinking about melting it back towards your thighs. So just moving in that direction. That's the direction you're focusing on moving. Really grounding through your hands and feet. Invite whatever movement feels good to you in your downward facing dog. So if you want to pedal out those feet a little bit, raise and lower the heels. All of that perfectly acceptable. Move the head, shake the head, yes and no. And then eventually just settling the feet back in so they're hips distance apart. And if you joined me yesterday, we talked a little bit about finding external rotation in the shoulders in downward facing dog to open the chest a little bit more. So I want you to think about turning the elbow creases towards each other. It doesn't have to be a huge movement, it's just a little tiny motion where you turn those elbow creases a little bit more towards each other, ground down through the palms. And then when you're ready, inhale to plank pose. Think about zipping everything together, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, finding that nice activation and across the entire midsection. Perfectly fine to set your knees down on the mat. As you exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Hips are high, elbow creases towards each other, head and neck in line with the spine. Inhale, find plank pose. Walk down to your forearms this time for forearm plank. You're perfectly fine again to set your knees down to the mat. Press into that middle part of your back. Zip the legs together and draw the belly in. Good. Then release the knees to the mat. Come down Sphinx pose. So you're going to slide your arms just slightly more forward. Press into the forearms and lift your heart up. So tops of the feet are flat. Nice gentle back bend here. Just passively lengthening the abdominals. Take a couple of breaths. Good. As you exhale, release your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under, walk back, hands back towards your feet, and find garland pose or malasana at the back of your mat. So that's going to be our low squat position here. Turning the toes out to the side, the knees out to the side. Using your elbows to separate the knees slightly, lengthening the spine. Then as you do that, pull the belly button in and tuck the tailbone under. Take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale, release. One more time, inhale to lengthen. This time as you exhale, left fingertips to the mat, right arm reaches back. Nice gentle twist, opening the right side of the chest. Good, take that same arm, reach it up and over to the left side. Good, inhale, come back to center, switch sides. So right fingertips to the mat, inhale, left arm back, opening the left side of the chest, breathing. Good, take that left arm, reach it up and over, side stretch to the right. Inhale, bring your trunk back up to center. Exhale, release down. Go ahead and plant your hands on the mat. Toe heel your feet back in so they're hips distance apart. Inhale and come to standing cow pose. So you'll set your hands just above your knees. Heart is forward, tail is up. As you exhale, come through standing cat, round all the way up to stand. And then roll your shoulders back a few times and walk towards the top of your mat. Find mountain pose with your heart open. Maybe blink your eyes closed for a couple of breaths here. Take a little bit of time to shift your weight from toes to heels or side to side. Just kind of notice how you feel in standing. Recall whatever that intention was that you set for your practice today. Drawing the shoulder blades slightly together, lifting the heart. When you're ready, blink your eyes open. On an inhale, sweep your arms up, look up. As you exhale, open the chest, elbows towards the sides. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, round and fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep all the way up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, open the chest, elbows to the sides. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold, lead with your heart. Nice, generous forward fold here. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, round and fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good, moving on to our crescent lunge salutation today. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right foot back to crescent or high lunge. So that back foot is going to be up, is going to be touching the mat, knee is straight. Walk or sweep your arms up. High or crescent lunge. Think about opening that right front of the hip. Back knee is straight and breathe. As you exhale, take your hands down to the mat, step back to plank. 2 breaths. Good, set your knees down on the mat, lower control to your tummy. Inhale, baby cobra, look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high. 2 breaths. Elbow creases towards each other, ground down through the palms. Good, looking forward, this time right foot steps between the hands, come up to high lunge. Walk or sweep your arms up, opening that left side of the hip. Back knee is straight, breathe. As you exhale, take your hands down to frame your foot. Back foot steps forward, halfway lift. Top of your mat, breathe in. Exhale, round and fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep all the way up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, right to the next salutation. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right foot back. Inhale, high lunge. Knee is over the ankle on that front leg. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat, plank pose. Step it back, 2 breaths. Good, set your knees down on the mat, lower all the way down. Inhale, locust pose this time. Arms down at your sides. Float your arms, your chest, and your legs up, reaching everything for the back edge of your mat. 2 more breaths. Good, release hands under the shoulders, downward facing dog, hips high. 2 breaths, elbow creases towards each other, melting the heart towards your legs here. Looking forward, right foot steps between the hands, high lunge, sweep up. Softening the tops of the shoulders, sending that knee crease to the back edge of the mat. As you exhale, hands to the mat, step forward, halfway lift, breathe in, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up, look up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. We're gonna move on to sun salutation A. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank pose and pause. If you feel ready for chaturanga, up dog, down dog, you can do that. Otherwise, you can come to your knees, lower halfway to chaturanga, low push-up. Release to your tummy, inhale, locust or baby cobra, whatever feels good for you. Pausing briefly here, heart forward. Exhale to down dog. 2 breaths. Ground through the palms. Looking forward, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round. Generously bend the knees. Forward fold. Inhale, raise all the way up. Look up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to, yogis. Inhale, flat back. Halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank and pause. Decide how you'd like to take that Vinyasa series from your toes or your knees. Lower halfway, hug the elbows in, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Lots of options here, yogis. Open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Grounding through the palms. Good, looking forward, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, round and fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good, toe heel your feet to touch. We're gonna move on to sun salutation B today. Inhale to chair pose, Utkatasana. Good, as you exhale, sink a little lower, send the arms back. So airplane arms, heart forward, shoulder blades together. Good, then sweep the arms up and over your head, sink low. One more time, exhale, send them back. Shoulder blades together. Inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful, inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Decide what you'd like to do here, either down dog or vinyasa. Any back bend of your choice that we've done. You can do cobra, locust, baby cobra, up dog, and then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Collect your breath here. Melting your heart back towards your thighs, grounding through the palms. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. As you send that right leg up, I want you to flex the foot. Point those toes down towards the mat. Big exhale, step it forward, come up to warrior one. Pivot your back heel down. Good, we're gonna release the hands on top of the sacrum. So down and back, interlace. Shoulder blades together, chest is lifted, shin slightly lifted upward. Feel that back foot. Back knee is straight. Good, if you'd like, Humble warrior or airplane arms. So if you practice humble warrior, you're going to keep your hands together, the chest open, and drop your trunk to that inner thigh. If that's too much of a forward bend for you, hinge forward, send the arms back, or keep them interlaced. So firm line from the top of the head down to the heel. If you're in that humble warrior, relax the back of the neck. Keep reaching your hands up towards the ceiling. Good. On an inhale, you're going to drive those hands down towards the floor. Bring your trunk back up slowly. Warrior one, look up. Good. As you exhale, release the hands. Sweep the arms up next to your ears, lifting your gaze slightly. One more inhale. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step back to plank pose, either down dog or vinyasa. So if you're getting tired, you can skip that. Chaturanga, back bend, down dog. So just do what works out best for you. We'll meet always in downward facing dog. You're welcome to come to child's pose or any other resting pose of your choice. From here, inhale, left leg high, foot is flexed, reach through the heel, toes point towards the mat. Big step forward, rise, Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Walk or sweep your arms up. So that back foot is at about 45 degrees. Go ahead and release the hands on top of the sacrum. Draw down and back, open your chest. If you can't quite bring your hands together, don't worry about it. You could even just actively draw the shoulder blades together. Take a nice deep breath in, lift your chin. As you exhale, airplane the arms or humble warrior. So trunk goes to the inner thigh, arms float up, back leg is strong. And then instead of collapsing onto your thigh, try to keep the chest opening by lifting your clasped hands up to the sky. Belly is in. Breathe. Remember, your other option is just hinging forward over that front thigh. Belly is in. Good. Drive the hands down. Inhale. Rise the trunk up. Exhale. Release the hands. Sweep the arms up. Warrior 1. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step back to plank pose. Your choice. Lower halfway chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Opening the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips high. Good. Release to child's pose. Collect your breath here. Inhale and exhale a couple times deeply into the low belly. Grab some water if you need to, or if you have some nearby. So take one more cleansing breath if you're in child's pose still, then make your way back up to downward facing dog. So we're going to move back into a little bit more core and pelvic strengthening here. So from downward facing dog, I want you to step your right foot about halfway to your hands, and then you're going to come over to your left hand and foot. So from down dog, step your right foot up halfway, come to your left hand and foot. So you're going to be balancing on your left hand and the outer edge of your left foot. Beautiful. Then what I want you to try doing is press into that right foot. So you're really actively lifting your pelvis up towards the ceiling. So you're really pressing into that foot that's flat on the floor. Should be your right foot. Float your right arm high. So it's a modification of side arm balance here. We're going to do a little bit of oblique and outer hip strengthening. So we're going to take the bottom side of our hip, barely lower it down, and then press into that right foot and the side body to lift it up. Okay, so you can modify your range as you need to. We're going to do it 3 more times. So you're going to lower that bottom hip, press into the foot, lift your hips high. Good. Gently lower, Press and lift. Micro bend in that left elbow. Press and lift and hold. Breathe. Exhale, release your right hand down. Step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Take the legs out wide and kind of pedal out the feet a little bit. Just notice a little difference between sides here. So just starting to notice some activation in those muscles around the back and the sides of the hip as well as the core. All works together. Bring those feet back in so they're about hips distance apart. This time we'll do the second side. So you're going to step your left foot halfway to your hands, rotate over to your right hand and foot, floating your left arm up. So it's just a variation of side arm balance, kind of our side plank variation. So one more time from down dog. Left foot steps halfway, come to your right hand and outer edge of your right foot. Left arm floats. Then press a little bit more into that left foot. So you're lifting the left side of your hip up to the ceiling. Good. We're going to gently lower down the right side of the hip. Press and lift into the right foot using that whole right side body. Sorry, into the left foot. Good. 3 more times. Lower the bottom hip. Press and lift to the sky. Beautiful. Lower the bottom hip. Press and lift. One more time. Lower. Press and lift and hold. Breathe. Good. Release the left hand down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Take the feet wide. Good. Pedal out the feet a little bit. Notice how you feel from side to side. Good. Inhale to plank pose when you're ready. And lower all the way down. Set your knees on the mat. Come all the way to your tummy. Inhale, take Sphinx pose again. Nice and easy back bend here. Heart forward. Kind of lengthening that front body one more time. So we're going to do one more variation of a back bend. We'll take either half bow or bow pose. So for this, you're going to be reaching back with the left hand towards the outer top edge of the foot. You can do one side at a time, or you can reach both arms back. No matter if you're doing one side or both sides, the key here is you're going to be pressing your foot into your hand. So you're back bending a little bit, it's active, the chest is open. You can only do one side, it's perfectly fine. Try to keep your knees in line with your hips. So we'll give time, so we do 2 repetitions total. So decide if you're going to do one or both legs at the same time. Go ahead and reach back for your feet. Keep your knees in line with your hips. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press and lift. Gaze is forward. Nice and active through the thighs. We're going to stay for 2 more breaths. Knees in line with the hips. Good. Exhale. Release and lower everything. Turn your left cheek to the mat. Take a little breather. So if you just did one side, now you're going to be switching to the second side. If you did both sides together, then you can do that one more time. So bringing back your head to a neutral spine, reach back for one or both feet. Inhale to prepare, knees in line with your hips. Exhale, press and lift. Shining your heart forward, pressing the feet into the hands, gazing ahead. You're not forcing anything, doing what works for you. Good, one more inhale. As you exhale, release everything. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press back to hare pose. So it's going to be more of a neutral or a rounded spine, kind of curling yourself into a nice tight ball. Breathe into the low belly. Nice, slow, long breaths here. Again, just be present in your body. Notice how you feel. letting go of any remaining tension here. Just allowing yourself to be right where you are. Let's take a cleansing breath. So inhaling through the nose, big exhale through the mouth. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position in the center of your mat. We're going to take a seated bound angle pose. You can bring the soles of the feet together, just either drawing the heels in a little bit closer, sending them out, whatever feels good for you. Lengthen the spine as you reach for the lower leg or the ankle, and then we'll explore just a gentle forward fold here. So just gently hinging forward at the hip crease, relaxing the back of the neck. If it's available, you can walk those hands a little bit more forward. Just kind of see what feels good. If you want to open and take a gentle side stretch, you can move your hands to one side and then the other side. Otherwise, just staying in the center is perfectly fine as well. As you inhale, slowly walk your hands back up to center. Go ahead and bring your knees up and set your feet on your mat. We're going to take our time to lower all the way down to our back. So we're going to float our palms up, lift the heart, and then as you exhale, release slowly. So you're engaging the core all the way down as you lower, taking your time. Good. Then once you're on your back, go ahead and draw the knees into the chest. And just start to massage out the low back here. And then we'll take any variation of a reclining spinal twist. So you're just going to release your legs to the right side, extend your left arm out or both arms out to a T. If it feels good for you, you might take that figure 4 reclining pigeon modification, and in that figure 4 position, drop your legs to the right. Feel a little bit more of a stretch through the outer hip and glute. And just extending your left hand, turning your gaze over that direction. Blink your eyes closed. Inhale and exhale. Feel that left lower rib cage. Breathe deeply. When you're ready, slowly drawing the knees back into the center. Just giving yourself a little hug here, drawing the knees in, maybe bringing the forehead up to the kneecaps. Release your head down. Any variation of a reclining spinal twist, letting the legs fall to the left, extending the right arm out, turning your gaze to the right. Try to keep your shoulder blades connected to the mat here. Inhaling and exhaling deeply. If the mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to your intention that you created for your practice today. Also, while we're here, take a moment of gratitude for dedicating this time for your practice. So much going on right now, both in our small communities here in Minnesota and in the world. Just taking time to just focus in on self-care, controlling what you can, taking whatever time you need to be present in your life. Those random and small acts of kindness can go a long way. When you're ready, drawing the knees back into the center. One more time, give yourself a squeeze. And then big giant exhale, extend the legs all the way out. Come into your final relaxation, Shavasana, corpse pose. Shoulder blades are underneath you, palms are open. If it's available to you and you'd like to take reclining bound angle, you'll bring the soles of the feet together. Drop the knees out wide, otherwise legs are outstretched. Let your feet and ankles relax. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, big heavy sigh, let everything go. This is your time to just allow your body and mind to be still for a few moments. Let the ground support you. Put your mind on pause, allowing your body to rest just for a few moments. Notice the breath in the center of the chest, your heart, your area of compassion, love, and kindness. Cultivate that today. Take it with you as you leave your mat this afternoon. You are strong. You are appreciated. You are loved. Feel ready, begin to deepen your breath. Invite some movement back into your hands and feet. When you feel ready, bend one or both knees up. Taking your time, choose a side to roll over onto. Curling yourself up there just briefly, breathing deeply into your heart. Making your way up to a comfortable seated position. Take a moment to find some length in the spine. We'll bring the hands together at heart center. Drop your chin down. Take one deep breath into your heart. Yogis, I send you off your mats today with love. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. If you have any comments or questions, shoot me an email or a Skype. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and thanks for joining. You bet. Have a great day.